Hi there, welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston and it is super you are here with me for our last I Ching weekly forecast for 2025 for the week commencing the 29th of December 2025, a bit of 2025, a bit of 2026 as we round out the last week of the year. Last week we had Hexagram 32, duration or endurance, teaching us about how to go the long distance. What is the long-term view? And perhaps you were thinking back across the year, thinking about your goals for 2026, thinking about the long-term marathon, the bigger picture, the bigger journey that you're on, and what you need to do to show up every day to build that vision for the future. Two tricky changing lines, both cautioning us to not pushing forward, accepting when there's no game in the field, that the field is empty, we need to go and look elsewhere for the game we need. Plus that lovely hexagram 11 piece, the open flowering, the profusion of fertility. And I had to have a big laugh because my family gave me a wildflower Lego set for Christmas. And I sat making all these flowers, putting them in a vase. And it was only when I'd finished, I looked at the flowers and I thought, ooh, a flowering profusion, hexagram 11 piece. Something is blooming and opening up so the bees can come. So for you, in this past week, what has translated into your life through the I Ching, through this duration, through these interesting changing lines, through hexagram 11 piece, the flowering, the opening up to fertility, and what did that mean for you? What came to your mind thinking about your life and where you want to go next? Please do share a comment if anything came up for you. All right, let's get into this kind of little bit of 2025, a little bit of 2026 last week, ahead of the annual and the monthly and the new weekly for next week. It's all going to come very fast and sharp soon. We have our first hexagram for this week is hexagram 35, progress. An interesting hexagram to get at this time of the year where perhaps we're hoping to, just be still. But progress is still happening. The sun still comes up every day, even though it never goes down. Okay, our social structure of the sun goes up, the sun goes down. No, it is perpetually shining. This hexagram talks about that idea of the sun rising to noon position. Okay, the progress of the sun over the earth. We have the fire trigram over the earth trigram. That visual of the sun gradually moving to its zenith, to its position at 12 noon. And this idea that when the sun makes its progress, it doesn't go burst, stop, burst, stop, burst, stop. Gradual, easy progress. Okay, that is what this hexagram brings our attention to, where we are needing to focus on this idea of making progress and the things we're needing to do, to lean into, which we'll discover through this week's two changing lines of what do we need to do to enable and support this progress, okay, that we're making. Natural energy of the sun just doing what it does. Okay, no forced energy, no difficult energy, no explosions, just natural progress. Things naturally unfold as they're supposed to be. Our task is to hold the space and support that progress, right? Support that energy of the slow, steady lending of our energy and our focus to the progress that's happening around us. Perhaps, like last week, this brings to mind the bigger picture of progress, looking back at the year, looking back and tuning into the progress that has been made, because that's what the hexagrams bring us to. All those hexagrams, you can imagine, in a way, are online 24/7. When we do these questions and we ask the I Ching, what should we focus on for this week? What we're doing is we're tapping into a particular aspect that's more dominant this week that allows us to grow. And perhaps focusing on our progress over the past 12 months is an opportune event and experience for us to reflect on what has been achieved. Where are we still making progress? Where, as this year comes to an end, are we still working on moving things forward gently and steadily and allowing that sun to come up, okay, whether that's in your personal life, if you're working throughout this festive season, supporting that, what might this progress be? In your consciousness, where is your spiritual development progressing nicely, beautifully, and where is that culmination coming this week as we focus on the blessings of progress? 2 changing lines in the 2nd and the 5th position. And I find both these lines speak to very similar ideas. Okay. In line 2, this line talks about progressing while worrying. Okay, so there's progress, but there's worry. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to pull ourselves together and we need to be steadfast and focused and keep moving and be like the sun rising to noon. Okay, because noon is like the culmination. After that, we start heading towards sunset, right? So we focus on, despite the fact that you might be worried about things, unsure, perhaps you're up at night thinking, worrying, not sure. Whatever this worry is that this changing line is talking to, despite that, we need to be steadfast, steady, patient, persistent, persevering, and show up, show up, show up. Okay. So that is the first changing line where we really are being told, despite the worry, we keep making progress. Okay. We're progressing while we are worrying. Okay. In position 5, the word worry also comes up with this changing line. And this one is, our worry is focused, will our progress here fail or succeed? So it's a slightly different focus. The previous changing line is we're proceeding, but we're worrying a bit as we go. But we have to stay focused. We've got to push that worry aside, okay? And we've got to keep progressing, and we've got to keep on being steadfast in our progress. Don't let the worry stop you from making the progress, because blessings come from doing that. In this changing line, we're making progress, we're working towards something, but we're worrying about, will it work or will it not work? And this changing line brings us this awareness that that is not where our energy should be either. We can't worry about it working or not working. What we have to worry about is making the progress. Okay, doing the doing. Putting one foot in front of the other. Similar energy to the previous line, but a slightly different focus of where the worry is plaguing us. So perhaps you are working on something. Perhaps it's a relationship, a goal, you've got a business project you're working on. There's something that you are working towards, that you're making progress on, and you are worried about, is this going to work or not? Is the result going to come from all my efforts? And actually at this point, that is not the problem. The problem is staying steadfast in making the progress, because blessings come from that. Okay, 2 lines where we're worrying, 2 lines where we need to keep putting one foot in front of the other, not trying to explode everything up, but just moving forward with a middle, balanced, steadfast, plodding energy, okay, like the sun, gradual unfoldment, natural progress, okay, steady and sure. That is what we need to be doing in this week. Thinking about this week. Thinking about, where are we worrying? It's a great opportunity this week with these 2 changing lines coming up to think about, where am I worrying about things? What is my greatest worry or concern? Where am I worrying about it working or not working? What is the thing that you are scared of? Because sometimes we are scared of it working, which is a different thing altogether. Where is the worry? And if you can just pinpoint it, even if it has been subconscious or unconscious to this point, and you can pinpoint where is the worry really coming from, and despite that, you keep on showing up, we can activate the blessings of this beautiful hexagram. Okay, we can do this. That leads to a second hexagram, which is a very interesting one to work with in conjunction with 35 progress. It is hexagram 6, conflict. Okay, so second half of the week, as we start up 2026, we have the conflict hexagram. This is like 2 bison that are fighting for territory, 2 deer, male deer, boof, okay, fighting it out. What this hexagram calls us to is two facets: external conflict and internal conflict. We have to resolve the conflict, not escalate the conflict. I hope this does not result in escalated conflicts in our world, because sometimes you see a pattern where, these hexagrams show up on a much bigger picture as well. So think about that in a bigger context. From a personal point of view, our task with this hexagram is to diffuse conflict. Okay, so where does the argument break out, or where does the disagreement, take place? Maybe in a family, maybe with a spouse. Where is that conflict coming where you want to win, okay, and the other party wants to win, and no one will win when the game is about winning the argument? We have to diffuse the conflict. So our focus for this week is there's something in our lives where we're going to come across a conflict, and our task is to diffuse the conflict, is to find the middle path, to find the space where we all can agree on something. Okay, we perhaps have different views, but when we put our views together, what is the thing we do agree on? And we are being called to lead that process. Okay, so this might be a conflict, not necessarily from you to another, but in your environment, in your family, in a work situation where a conflict has erupted, conflicting views. And our task is to be the leaders in this moment to help the parties find common ground. Okay, so common ground is probably a brilliant little two-word phrase that'll really help us work with this hexagram. And if you find you're in conflict with someone else, common ground, common ground, common ground. Be the leader in this moment. Be the better person, or the superior person, as the I Ching refers to it, as a master. Be that master of the moment to find the common ground. And of course, the harder conflict sometimes to deal with is when it's internal conflict. Right? I feel conflicted. I don't know what to do. This part wants that part wants that, and I can't get these two parts to talk to each other, right? So they stay separate because they each want to win. What is the common ground that we can find a place internally of resolving that inner conflict? Okay. So we are dealing with that this week. Unfortunately, we're not all just in la la land. We've got stuff we've got to deal with. The I Ching never lets us get off the hook, okay? Because every day is an opportunity to show up and to grow and to enrich the lives of ourselves and the people around us, to find happiness, to create happiness, to create unity, all right, even through diversity, and to create a better world. This has been a tough year for us all. We're going to get stuck into 2026 very shortly and look at the energy and how that shifts, all right? We're going to work with it, and we are going to make a difference in the year to come, because we have made a difference in this year that we are closing off. That's what it's all about. Thank you for being here with me. If this was valuable to you, you know what to do. Thumbs up, like. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell if you're on YouTube, or the follow button on the podcast. And I will next connect with you when we talk about 2026. Crazy, absolutely crazy that we are here. But what a wonderful opportunity for us to reset, to begin again, to reframe ourselves and our world, and go back in, right? Go back in with new eyes, new energy, new focus, because something magical happens when that clock turns over. We reset and we begin again, and we do better than we did before. Thank you so much for being here with me this year, and I look forward to connecting with you as we step across the divide from 2025 to 2026. Until then, take care.